Happy Friday. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1412. Good morning. We're late this morning. You can thank a cute little puppy named Ernie for my tardiness this morning. Ernie was I won't say out of sorts because it's kind of par for the course. Though usually during the week, when he's off at doggy daycare throughout the day, he burns off his energy and he sleeps through the night like a good little puppy. Wasn't the case last night. He was a little rambunctious at bedtime, and then I woke up at like 11:30. Like, you wake up in a deep sleep and you're like, what is going on? And I remember my wife turning off the alarm and taking Ernie out to go potty like 11:45. And then I think I fell back asleep, and I woke back up because Ernie's doing he'll launch on me and then start digging. And he knows that's an easy way to wake me up. And I'm like, oh, what is going on? My wife's like, I just took him out 10 minutes ago. I'm like, it's only been 10. It feels like it's been 3 hours. So apparently I just fell asleep and woke up in 10 minutes. I don't know. So, and he's going just absolutely dog shit crazy. She's like, do you think he has to go poop? And she's like, he didn't poop for me. I'm like, he's got to go poop. If he's going to be this crazy in bed, he's got to go poop. So my wife takes him out, or no, I took him out that time. She took him out. I'm like, God damn it. She's like, I'll take him out. I'm like, no, I got it. You took him out 10 minutes ago. I'll take him out. So I take him out. He pees again, I think. No. He didn't do anything because I took him out twice in the middle of the night. He didn't do anything this time. So he just goes out, he sniffs, and then he wants to come back inside. I'm like, don't you have to poop? Don't you have to poop? Nope. He wants to come back inside. And then he wants to have the zoomies at midnight. Like, dude, come on. So I left him on the floor. So I'm trying to fall back asleep. So he's had enough. He steals one of my socks and he's done. Now he wants to get back into bed. My wife puts him into bed. And I think all was well until like 1:30. So we get through like a good 90 minutes. And here we go again. So this time I take him out. He's got to poop this time. Nope, just had to pee again. Just had to pee again. And he peed, come back inside. And he's a little rambunctious. And I think he finally settled in. Or either he settled in and I fell asleep. And then I think I wasn't getting any sleep. And so I'd like to keep sleeping. A little tired this morning. Hey, we've talked a lot about the post office and tracking this week. We've got an update, and it's interesting, and this is what's awesome about crowdsourcing, and this is when we can all band together and we ignore all the politics and bitching about top loaders and tape. We can all come together and unify against bad tracking, USPS not delivering, or are they? And all that bullshit. So we've come together, and I did check against like one package that I had to refund. This like workaround wasn't showing any additional information. However, this morning I'm like, I'm gonna run a test, and let's see. And so I had a case open up last night. My eBay store, by the way, is 99centcards.com. Buy 7 or more items. Buy it now. Regular price. Save 25% off at checkout. 99centcards.com. Somebody bought a Jalen Hurts card from 99centcards.com. The eBay tracking. Let me show you. Let's share the screen. Oh shit. Where are we at? Here we go. Let me make sure there's no addresses. I don't want to. All right. So here's what eBay tracking shows. Let's blow this up a little bit. So it was last scan was February 10th, last Monday. Shipped to buyer. That's all we get. February 8th. Tracking number provided. And I don't know if I went to the post office that day or not, but it was either mailed out Saturday or Monday. And so our last tracking on eBay Monday, running behind original estimate. So somebody found a workaround. And if you click here on ESIS, it brings you to this page. So it still shows in transit on this page. Now, here's the workaround that a few people on Twitter had showed. So what you do, see this highlighted tracking number down here, USPS first class letter. It still shows the tracking on this link only shows, well, February 10th, it was in Milwaukee. Here's the little workaround. Copy this link. Make sure it includes those zeros at the beginning. Copy that and make sure to bookmark parcelsapp.com, parcelsapp.com. Click on parcelsapp.com. And hey, wouldn't you know, this envelope was delivered. It was delivered on February 15th, a week ago, almost a week ago, last Saturday. How about that, huh? So somebody opened a claim. Oh, I never got it because tracking didn't show. And maybe they're blindly looking at the eBay tracking and say, well, I never got it, and just don't pay attention to the mail they receive. And I can relate. But guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to copy this goddamn link into their claim. Oh, tracking shows it was delivered on February 15th. So this is a giant pain in the ass for when claims are opened. If you have unscrupulous buyers who are claiming it wasn't because the tracking shows nothing. So we can find these people out. And I don't know if I'm going to go to the extreme of blocking them, because it could be just honest airheadedness where they're like, well, the tracking says it wasn't delivered, and they may get 10 packages a day. I honestly don't track when I buy stuff. If I'm buying like a bunch of Dylan Cease cards, I'm not really paying close attention. Now, that's like with a card like this was, I think, $2.50. Now, if it's like a $50 card or a $100 card, yeah, I'm going to pay a little closer attention. But if I'm buying a bunch of singles at $1.50, $2, I'm not paying attention. So there's the difference. eBay tracking, same. This is the same envelope. eBay tracking, shipped to buyer. Last tracking update, Monday, February 10th. But as we go down the rabbit hole and we click on the link, it takes us to this site, track my shipment. Copy and paste this number down here into parcelsapp.com. And that's the tracking. You'll get full tracking, well, as full as you can get. And this package was delivered 6 days ago, and this person opened a claim last night. So there you go. There you go. So I don't doubt there's issues with the USPS. I think we all are kind of aware of that. But I think there's a lot of blind, I used to get, and I still to this day, based on how my store is set up and how I ship. So I try to best I can to get all of my business policies the same, because as you know, and if you were watching around episode, what was it, 500-600, I had the issue where I was getting just absolutely blown up with transaction fees. And then it took about a year to figure out, went all the way to the top of eBay and had a Zoom call with one of the people that were in on the managed payments team. And on the Zoom, I wish it was recorded. Wish I recorded it. Because in that Zoom call, they're like, nope, this is your buyers buying separate transactions. I'm like, no, I will send you a spreadsheet of all of these transactions. And I guarantee you that's not the case. And guess what? They come back about a week later and says, as we stated on the Zoom call, it was something completely different than what they stated on the Zoom call, which really pissed me off. But hey, at least I got my answer. They gave me a piddly $100 credit, which I probably pissed away in 2000. So, but sometimes we have to learn those lessons the hard way, right? I don't know where I was going with that story. Oh, the business policies. So, sometimes if I'm listing from my phone or if in a different way, it's not set up for the same policies. And so if I list a card, it's not set up as this. If I list this Ronald Acuna card, it may not be in the same as this Dr. J card. So what happens is if somebody bought both of those cards, it would show up as two different transactions. The buyer would actually pay in one transaction, but to me, because this one may have 2-day handling time, this one may have 3-day handling time, or whatever the case might be. So it separates them on my ledger. So what I do, just to save time, and it does cause headaches at times, but overall, I think the time it saves is better than the headaches it creates. It's like, which one, there's a pile of shit in each hand. Which one? No, this is a pile of shit. This is a pile of shit. I'm just going to take this one. So what I do is whatever the lowest dollar item is, say the Acuna was $10 and the Julius Erving was $2. I'll mark Julius Erving shipped, and then I'll print my label from the Acuna, from the higher dollar price. So what happens in some cases is the buyer will, they'll get the Acuna, but the Dr. J never showed up. Well, the Dr. J did show up because it was shipped in the same goddamn envelope. So, but because it didn't have tracking attached, they think they didn't get it. And so a lot of buyers are blindly following eBay tracking, thinking that, well, it's not delivered, so I never got it, which many times is not the case. You did get it. So that's what I think a lot of this is happening. So I don't want to just go and block people. Even like in this case, in this example I just shared, where this person opened a claim last night, said he never got it. We go through these steps, and it shows it was delivered on last 6 days ago, last Saturday. So it could be a case where he's just blindly looking at, well, it says it was never delivered, so I never got it. Open a claim on everything that says not delivered, which is a giant pain in the ass for sellers, because going through the PIP claim process is a pain in the ass. Is it easy? Yes. Is it time consuming? Also, yes. And I don't want to spend an entire morning filling out claims for $2.50 cards, $1.50 card, 99-cent cards. But I'm going to next week. And actually, one I refunded yesterday was like a $12. So you're damn right I'm going to go back through and start filling out all these PIP claims. So I'm going to go back. You can do it for 90 days. I'm going to go back. Last 90 days, every goddamn refund, you're getting a PIP claim. You get a PIP claim, you get a PIP claim, you get a PIP claim. So if you're just joining me real quickly, I'll share it again. So this Jalen Hurts card, the buyer opened a claim, an item not received claim last night. Here's what the eBay tracking looks like. Shows that it was a number was provided on February 8th. It showed in transit in Milwaukee on February 10th, and that's the last update. So what do? Click on this link under shipment history, eBay standard delivery. Click on that link. That will bring you to this screen. This is a track my shipment screen. Now, it doesn't give us any additional information. In transit, Milwaukee, February 10th. Here's the kicker. Here's the problem solver. Down here at the bottom where it says eBay USPS first class letter, this gives you a different number. Copy and paste this number into a website called parcelsapp.com. So copy and paste that number, and this is what shows. Parcelsapp.com, and boom, there's our last update in transit February 10th, but we've got a whole bunch of different scans. Origin processing, destination processing, out for delivery, delivered February 15th, last Saturday. So there you go. There's a little workaround. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this claim. I'm going to type in the tracking number. I'm going to state my case. We'll see what eBay says. Are they going to side with me or not? I would hope they'll side with me. It looks like it's eBay's issue on the tracking side. So we'll see. Or who knows? It could be the Pitney Bowes is not communicating. There's a breakdown in communication at some point between Pitney Bowes and eBay. All right, let's go to the chat. Hey, it's Friday. Tomorrow is the Madison Card Show. Tomorrow, John Nolan Drive, Sheraton Hotel. Come out and see us. 140 sold out tables. I actually had to do something that I've always wanted to avoid, and that is cancel tables on dealers, which I had to. So far, I've only had to cancel on one dealer. I did have to. A couple dealers, I had to cut back their tables down from 3 to 2. And there's maybe a couple more dealers that I may have to do that. So my fault. My wife's like, don't you have a spreadsheet? I'm like, yes. But I wasn't prepared that every single dealer was coming back this month. And every single dealer that set up last month in for those people wanted to come back as well. And I'm just, you get a table, you get a table, you get a table. I went back and I had like 3 or 4 dealers that I still had to confirm with. And I'm just like, please say you can't come. Not that I don't want them to set up, just to make my life easier. And of those 4 dealers, 2 of them can't do the show. So I'm like, oh, bummer. I'm going to miss you this month. Thank you for helping me out. So yeah, I'm still going through and I'm kind of like, I'm dragging my feet, just expecting. It's winter, so maybe car trouble, maybe mainly illness. So I'm sick. If you're a dealer at the Madison Card Show and you're setting up tomorrow and you have been sick this week or think you may or sick right now and you're just dragging your feet hoping you're going to feel better, tell me. Please, because I don't want to get a text tonight at 10 p.m. or tomorrow morning. I thought I was going to get better, but I'm not. That's the worst thing that you can do. Just please communicate with me. Doesn't mean you're going to lose your table, but at least I can at least have somewhat of a preparation in place. Okay, I know this person, a little dicey. He's been sick. At least I can go back to the people I canceled on and said, hey, okay, there might be a spot open up. So completely my fault, 100%. And you know, I was thinking about this yesterday as I'm like stressing out. It's more stressful. And of course, it's easier for me to say in this position than back in 2021 when I was just starting to show off. But in the times where there's another show going on, or like last month, it's a lot easier to fill tables than to unfill tables. And I'm like, you know, it's I kind of like to be on that front because I don't have any more room to grow. And unless I start booking all the conference rooms, but then I'm pissing away money and doing more work. Like I want to avoid that. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Although I was thinking about with the amount of overbooking, you know, what for me, could I reach out to the hotel and but they probably already set up the room for Sunday. And, you know, that wouldn't fly. Like, well, we're not going to tear down the room and reset it up. But if it wasn't set up for Sunday, because they have events every Sunday in the third ballroom, it's like, is it going to be more work for me? What's the, again, shit in both. I got a pile of turds in both hands. Which turd do I choose? You know, and I don't think I wouldn't even have enough tables. I would have to have people bring their own tables. So it's just, and that would be too much work. And yeah, especially on this late notice and then to fill that room to make it worth at least break even. So, oh, well, first world problems. GNC baseball cards in the house. Good morning. Happy Friday. Kyle is here. Good Friday morning to you. Andy Max in the house. What's happening? Victor, the rookie card specialist, is here. Good morning. Uncle Rich, what's happening? Good morning. It's Friday. Hey, by the way, I was lazy. Not necessarily lazy. I was running late this morning and I didn't feel like getting creative for name that player. So we're doing a junk wax pack today because I just didn't want to spend the time to find a pile of cards. So I'm not gonna name which pack yet, but we're gonna do a junk wax pack today. Todd, good morning. Dave Arnold's in the house. BPC lesson plans are ready for name that player. Hey. All right, kids, it's study hall time. Mr. Arnold's got work to do. Happy Friday, Peter. What's going on? Philly Joe's in the house. Good morning. It's a free-for-all. Great hockey game. I watched hockey last night. Man, I've watched parts of 3 hockey games in a week. You know what I should have been doing, but Low Roller Scratcher was not here to remind me. I should have been listing hockey cards in my eBay store. What was I thinking? I watched the first 2 periods, and then it was getting late, and I'm like, I've seen enough. But I did flip it on. I checked. It was 2-2 in the 3rd period. And then I saw this morning, I think Canada won in overtime. Is that how it all played out? Uncle Rich says, Ernie is allowed to run the house. If he's the reason you were late, that's his business. That's true. Cooter says, Canada. Boo. Nothing against the Canadians, but come on, USA. Red Light 34 is in the house. Good morning. David, what's happening? Good morning. Cody, good morning. Yesterday, you talked about stickers and other stuff. I just happen to work at a printing company. Really? We can talk more at the show. Yes. Be better than giving my money to Vistaprint or Sticker Mule. Jody, good morning. Michael Renicke's in the house. What's happening? Tracy, good morning. Finally back with y'all live. Welcome back. Happy Friday. Basket Noodle is here. What's up? Be aware, UPS Ground Saver and USPS Ground Saver are now the same thing. John says, when are we getting to dryer ball talk? John wants to talk about balls. Orlando is here. Good morning. Peter says, recently, all my ESEs are like this, where they are scanned at the origin and then nothing. Fortunately, they've been delivered. Yeah. It's just the tracking's a pain in the ass. And especially with buyers that don't pay attention to their mail and just solely look at the tracking. Well, I never got it. The tracking says, well, the tracking's wrong. Unicorn Cupcake, what's up? Good morning. That dude from Duryea, what's up? I had a whole shipment go out with no tracking scan at pickup because there was a substitute carrier, Ground Advantage service. So I haven't had any issues with Ground Advantage because I went back and checked because I had a whole bunch of Ground Advantage that were shipped out on Tuesday as well. And those all had scans. Those were all tracking. But it's the eBay standard envelope that all the issues are happening, at least for me and for a lot of people that I have seen on the various platforms. Huck's Sports Cards in the house. Appreciate the info on tracking. And I think somebody posted it in the Hobby Evolution Facebook group. And then a couple people had posted it on Twitter. So yeah, I saw a lot of it out there on the webs. Dan's here. What's up? Andy Mack says, I guarantee there are cards I've ordered and never gotten. I don't cross-check cheap cards. I'm kind of the same way. Unless I only order like one card, or if it's for something specific. Dylan's, I was ordering like a bunch of Dylan Cease cards and I wasn't paying any attention. But sometimes if I order like a one-off Dylan Cease card, even if it's a cheap card, I'll realize, hey, I never got that. I don't know the last card. Let's see the last eBay purchase I made, non-supply related. Purchase history. Supplies. The last thing I ordered was on January 10th. I ordered NBA Jam for Sega Genesis because I have Tournament Edition, and I'm like, I want NBA Jam. Unfortunately, the NBA Jam regular that I ordered off eBay, it doesn't save your info. Like when you put your initials in, it doesn't save that. And then I also ordered the same day. I ordered a set. My controller had stopped working, so I ordered a Sega Genesis controller. Before on January 9th, I ordered my necklace, my PSA slab chain for my Superfractor. The last card, holy shit. The last card I bought, that was a break that I didn't pull any cards out of. The last card I ordered on eBay was November 11th. Holy shit. So it's been December, January. It's been over 3 months since I bought a card on eBay. That's pretty crazy. Like, I didn't think it had been that long. November, I ordered a card on November 11th, on November 10th, on November 7th. Oh boy, I was in a shopping mood. November 6th, and then October 6th. So those were, wow, over 3 months, about 3 weeks or 3 months and a week since I've last bought a card on eBay. Dan says, I was contacted for the first time regarding someone building a set and needs a card I own. Hit that like button. Thank you, Dan. Subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. This tracking workaround is very helpful. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to save me a $2.50 refund this morning because it was delivered. Word, what's up? Good morning. Going through my Wembies. Nice. I just... How about that? Just shitty news. Wemby is out for the season, a blood clot in his shoulder. I just listed a bunch of Wembies, and I think a bunch of them just shipped like yesterday. I think I sold probably half of them. So those probably tanked. And being basketball and Wemby, there are 3 of them that I sent out. Probably 2 of them will get open or return. That's how it seems with the basketball market. John J, what's up? Thank TGIFFAF. Thank God it's free for all Friday. Basket Noodle says all transactions happen through Adyen, which is both eBay's merchant account holder and the aggregate processor. Rockstar says monetary news, minerals, new patine. There you go. We got a bot in the house. Basket Noodle says eBay basically just makes calls against API. John says, is this Black Friday in the hobby where everything crashed down following the news on Wemby? I hope so. Basket Noodle, same with UPS, USPS, FedEx. Is LRS Rockstar now? I think so. Gem City. Hey, speaking of rocks, Gem City in the house. What's up? I've used that tracking method for whatnot purchases. Didn't work for me at first for ESE, but so glad this is working. That dude from Duryea says that situation with 30-cent fees was a great thing to learn. Bundle buys are such an advantage for sellers, but wish offers were easier to bundle. Yeah, offers are a giant pain in the ass. I had in instance where I think like 23 offers were accepted. It was offers that I sent out, so I don't know. I can't control it. And I can't send an invoice on offers I send out because I don't know who's going to accept them. And somebody accepted like 23 offers and 23 different transactions. Bargain Boxer says, how much money has been spent and now lost on Wembanyama? John says, can we trust a third party saying it was delivered when the second party says it isn't delivered? Who is right if everyone is wrong? I don't know. Who can you trust? We'll see. We'll let eBay decide. I am just as apt to not trust something saying it's delivered as saying it hasn't been delivered. And that's also a good point. How often do you get a message from buyers? And this is probably more often than the other, where this says it was delivered, but I just checked my mailbox. It's not in there. And I want to be sarcastic and be like, well, I put it in there. It's your mailbox out front, right? I put it there personally. I delivered it. I swear to God. But yeah, I get that a lot. It says it was delivered, but it wasn't delivered. So we might as well just fuck tracking. Like, we don't even need tracking. It's not accurate anyway. Can we trust any cards coming from the mail in from Wisconsin? No, probably not. All these entities make calls to the USPS API in this case. Gem City says, I'm now ESE Master General. All are delivered. Have a great day. Thank you. Johnny M., good morning. Will eBay accept the third party for being delivered since they use ESE tracking? I don't know. We'll see. If I'm going to try it, I'll let you know. John says, wouldn't it be great if North Korea owned Parcels app and we've just entered all of the info onto the dark web? That dude from Duryea says the ESE state delivered a day before on a few occasions. Many occasions, that's the case. Constantly getting emails, messages. Says it was delivered at 11:15, but I was standing by my mailbox and my mailman handed me the mail and it wasn't in there. I swear to God. Bob Hosta, what's up? Good morning. I got a claim yesterday and it shows that the item was delivered, but the buyer said they never got it. Can I just provide the tracking number and win the case? Yes, most often, yes. If tracking says it was delivered, you will win the case. Most likely. You can't guarantee anything. I can't guarantee it, but that's what I do. If it says delivered, I will. Typically, what I do is I wait a couple days. If somebody say it was marked delivered yesterday and they opened a claim today, I will wait like 2 or 3 days before even tackling the case. Because usually it shows up the next day or 2 days later. And an honest buyer would delete their claim and take it down. And that does happen. That happens quite often in the instances where I've had this. But if it's dragging on, it's like, oh, I have to answer this claim by tomorrow. I'll put the tracking in. Says it was delivered. If it's somebody that buys a lot from me, like a regular, like if one of you, said like, I'll just refund the money, but if it's a rando, I'm going to let eBay make the decision. And sometimes eBay will side for both of you, for both the buyer and seller, where they side with the buyer, but they don't punish the seller. So eBay like refunds the money, but out of eBay's till. Where you don't lose the money, but the buyer doesn't either. Basket Noodle says, see if eBay has server warehouse issues. They might not get updated, which is what it looks like. Rich says, Pitney Bowes is terrible. They're terrible. If they are handling this, I'm shocked there's not been more issues. So Pitney Bowes handles the ESE. So it goes through, so the tracking, the reason it's not, you can't plug a eBay standard envelope number into USPS is because it's a Pitney Bowes track. So the scanners, the scanners that are used to scan these are Pitney Bowes. Pitney Bowes is one of the largest U.S. mail third party. They deliver the mail. They have scanners. They have the distribution centers and all that stuff. Where are we at? John says, did people get their bulk label problems sorted out? I didn't have any issues printing yesterday. I know there was issues, I think Wednesday night, eBay, and it wasn't just, I don't think it was just bulk. I think it was, printing labels in general Wednesday night. And I don't think it lasted too long. I think it was just an outage for maybe an hour, 2 hours at most. I wasn't shipping at the time, so I didn't have any issues. And, by yesterday morning, everything was working. John is on top of the bots. Basket Noodle says, that is to say, to check delivery updates, there was no trigger to inform an external application of a status update. Now there may well be. USPS users can have updates sent to their cell phones, email. Now, if eBay server's down for whatever reason, they may not get that trigger. Travis Bogart in the house. What's going on? I sent a couple design revisions to the tweet. Oh, thank you. I will check those out. Travis made up a Hobby Evolution logo. Ryan, what's going on? Good morning from Kansas. Basket Noodle says, on a delivered trigger, if eBay servers handling the trigger receptions are down, there will be no more triggers after delivered status. Well, what's the trigger? What's the no more triggers after delivered status? I don't know. So at eBay, the database doesn't get updated, and that's what you're seeing. 608, I may want to order stickers too. Michael Renicky, last card I ordered on eBay was also in November. Yeah, the November Club. Really, it's not proper programming on eBay's part. Whenever external services data is to be relied upon, there needs to be fallback coding to data failures. This is way over my head. Way over my head. I don't know what any of this means. All I know is we've got a workaround for the tracking. Whether it works, whether eBay is going to side with us or not for using that third-party delivery notification, remains to be seen. We'll find out soon. Bargain Boxer says 95% of my collection has come from shows and card shops. eBay is brutal with 10% sales tax and $5 shipping on a 99-cent card. That's why I don't buy cards with $5 shipping. Give me that free shipping, baby. Gem City Card Show says Wemby Market, time to buy. If you trust his medical team can save his career. That dude from Duryea, do you spend more time selling cards or playing Sega video games with your bling chain? I think I spend more time selling cards. Yeah, unfortunately. I wish I spent more time playing video. Actually, I'm not a big video gamer. When I got to say I didn't plug that Sega in. We moved into this house in July of 2023. That Sega was not plugged in until December of 2024. So it was about a year and a half that I didn't even plug my Sega in. And then I plugged it in December. And it has been a good, when I need a break from cards, like, because I don't really take breaks. I just kind of do cards every waking hour. And so it is kind of a nice, in the winter, in the warm months, I can just go outside and look at the pond or go play in my garden. But in the winter, I don't do that. So it is kind of a nice distraction. I'll play like one game on NBA Jam and then go back to work. Keeps me sane for the most part. Baseball card curmudgeon. Good morning. What's happening? Bargain Boxer. They couldn't save Bosch, and he's got the same thing as Bosch. Really? That's not good. Michael Renicky says same for Brandon Miller. Do they all have the same thing? That's scary. Gem City Card Show says Asar had one last year. So maybe it's not tinfoil hats with these blood clots in the COVID vaccine. Basket Noodle says, the moment a buyer makes an item not received claim, eBay ought to be out to the USPS API getting the data, but that data will come back as text, not status. So they need parse the text for delivered at. Bargain Boxer says, I just paid $5 for shipping. The seller sent it ESE and I haven't received it after 2 weeks. Fuck me. Yeah, that sucks. That purchase history was a 90s Christmas list, right? Porter, what's happening? Good morning. Basket Noodle says the USPS actually at delivery scan also gets GPS coordinates, but they are not exposed for people to see or the public-facing APIs. Johnny M says, get your stamps ready. I got a feeling we are going back to the pre-ESE days soon. I don't know. I don't think so. As we've kind of discovered what's going on in what Basket Noodle's saying, it sounds like it's not an issue with the Postal Service. It's not an issue with eBay. It's an issue with technology, and the communication is down between the two. So I don't think we'll be going back to pre-ESE. Now, I think we'll see dollar stamps, dollar ESE 1 ounce before we see standard, because standard envelope is not like this brand new thing. It's just a similar thing to what's it called? Basket Noodle will know. What's it called? What's the damn it. It's on the tip of my tongue. There's a name for it, and it's like junk. It's junk mail, and there's tracking on it. So it's not going to go away, but I could see stamps going up to $1 or more. Rich Klein says, anytime I had to deal with Pitney Bowes, it was a freaking mess. Bargain Boxer says, would now be a bad time to start selling with Card Dealer Pro, ESE, and all the things? I don't think so. No. I assume that this will get worked out. This will get worked out just like printing your labels goes down for an hour or two, and sometimes longer. Sometimes it'll go down for half a day. It comes back. Things will get worked out. It'll be okay. No need to panic. I'm a software engineer 40 plus years. Yeah, I don't speak IT. I'm just like, woof. I don't know what any of this means. Christian says, good morning. Joining the stream now, starting at the beginning, which means I am living in the past. The next hour, hit the like. Thank you. Brandon Miller is just out for the year. Not a blood clot. I meant to buy now. Okay. Brandon Miller, buy now. Bargain Boxer says you need to have a tour of your card room. You spoke about it yesterday, but us nerds are more visual than verbal. You did the tour before you moved in. Let's go. I need to get it cleaned up a little bit because it's if I was taking video and walking through my areas, I would trip and break my neck. Too many boxes on the floor. I think I've done, maybe not on YouTube, but I've done some walkthroughs, probably on Twitter. Basket Noodle says triggers are actually known as events. So be a USPS received event, tracking update events, delivered event. Each event has a status code. Bob Hosta says, you see the Yankees ended the facial hair rule. I did not see that. That's interesting. So who did they sign? So who did the Yankees sign that has facial hair? Those events are only issued once from the USPS. So if the eBay servers that cope with all those events are down, they will never get them. So I think that's probably what's happening, is something on the eBay side is not capturing this data. So you might, for example, see you dropping parcels off in only the delivered event. Just as an example, all the other events were never recorded by eBay servers. Williams, the relief pitcher. That dude says bulk services for advertising mailings have different zone pricing. I used to mail menus to customers, but not sure the rates currently. Porter says this chat is a good reminder that I need to take my ADHD meds. They got from the Brewers. So thank you, Wisconsin. Williams. Oh, Devin Williams. What is the world coming to? Yankees and facial hair at MLB and ESPN divorcing. Yeah, ESPN and MLB. How about that? Max says the olds that cared just died off probably. That's probably the old heads out in New York. Yeah, this is a pretty dated rule. Let's cut this one. Gem City says, Porter, thanks for the reminder. Bob says, rumor is they're doing it to get ready for Vladdy Jr. next offseason. Travis says, Reds ended their facial hair rule when they signed Greg Vaughn back in 99. Greg Vaughn is probably the most underrated baseball player of the 90s. I think we've talked about this before. And I think somebody brought that up, and I'm like, Greg Vaughn wasn't that good. And then I looked at his numbers. I'm like, shit, Greg Vaughn had a good career. Jason says, no need to panic on ESE shipments. People are receiving their cards for the most part. Bob Hosta says, Devin Williams already shaved his beard before they changed the rule. Now he can grow it back. Rich says, ESPN prefers NBA and NFL. I agree with MLB is not wanting to stay with ESPN. And really, ESPN, like, they dropped baseball tonight, a couple years ago. ESPN, yeah, ESPN wants NBA, NFL. They didn't care about MLB. MLB Network, if I wish YouTube TV carried it. Now, they finally, YouTube TV did come to an agreement with their carriage agreement with Paramount. So it's like they had that little bar crossing. It's like, if they don't come to an agreement, we're dropping YouTube TV. Like, we watch, like, that's like most of the channels we watch. And they dropped MLB Network like right after we got YouTube TV, which was one of the main draws. So yeah, but Paramount's back. So I wish I had MLB Network, but I have MLB TV. That works. Basket Noodle says there are some gems that sellers don't tend to know, like put hashtags in your full descriptions. Hashtags on eBay descriptions? Do tell on this. Max says, I got tons of shit when I worked for Jones for having a well-kept goatee, believe it or not. Jason says eBay is refusing, though, to make any notifications or statements to buyers, even though they are aware of the issue and have a tech ticket. Yeah, and that's the most annoying part. And that's what was my biggest complaint when with my issue with transaction fees. It took a year for me to get any sort of recognition, not recognition, but for them to actually do something about it. But of course, because they're getting all this transaction fee money. And like Jason says, you complain about eBay about many things. And Ask eBay, the Ask eBay bot or whoever's working behind that account, they're on it. Oh, tell me all your details. They've been tagged a lot this week on this stuff. And guess what? Crickets. They're not responding to anything. They are well aware of what's going on. They're playing dumb. Basket Noodle says to eBay, these mean nothing, but to Google and mobile-based search algorithms, they do. Well, that is interesting. That is interesting. Rich Klein says yes, but he had obvious stubble, and it was apparent in the opening day of spring training promo. MLB Network was previously on YouTube TV. Yeah. Now it's just a cable network. Max says, once they dropped baseball tonight, I stopped watching ESPN altogether. Give me sports, not an expose on why Jalen Hurts deserves more respect. Yeah, I rarely watch it. About the only time I watch ESPN is like if a game's on. And that's not, I guess, like college basketball or college football. But yeah, I rarely, because it's talking heads all day. Like, I don't care about this crap. Bradley says Kevin Seitzer is very underrated. Also played in the 1990s. Kevin Seitzer. Okay, let's. Kevin Seitzer. Kevin Seitzer. Not bad. 28.8 career WAR. He did make a couple All-Star games, 95 and 87. Led the league in hits in 1987. Finished second in Rookie of the Year that year. He had an okay career. He had high batting average throughout the 90s and late 80s. Wasn't a home run hitter. He was okay. Like Greg Vaughn. Though. Greg Vaughn had a... Greg Vaughn. And this is crazy. Okay, so here I am saying, oh yeah, Kevin Seitzer was okay, but Greg Vaughn only had a 30.9 career WAR. Greg Vaughn was just, and Vaughn, I think, played a few years longer, so basically they were the same. Kevin Seitzer and Greg Vaughn are like the same. Seitzer played 12 years. Vaughn played 15. There's only like a 2 WAR difference. So maybe Greg Vaughn's not, but you know why? Because you look at 1998, 1999, Greg Vaughn, we love the long ball, 50 home runs, 45 home runs, 28 home runs in 2000. He had 30 home runs back in 93. Greg Vaughn did go to the All-Star game 4 times. He was 4th in MVP voting in 98. Also was a Silver Slugger that year. But we look at those sexy numbers. Those sexy home run numbers in 98 and 99. But Greg Vaughn, basically over his career, was Kevin Seitzer. Bradley, you're right. Kevin Seitzer, underrated. Rich Klein, to defend my cable network on that, they dropped MLB Network on July 1st, 2020, when things were happening in real time. Card Collector says, my father's era of baseball is officially over. The Yankees have gotten rid of the no beard rule. This marks the end of an era. Google is the undisputed king of e-commerce search, now via voice on mobile phones, 60% to be exact. Hashtags matter. Hashtags matter. Hashtags matter. Max says, I want last page of the sports section, not the first few pages. Your full description should also best as possible mimic your single line descriptions or title descriptions. Maybe I should spend more time on my descriptions and not just put buy 7 cards at regular price. To external search engines, content always reigns king. Bob Hosta says, I take your Greg Vaughn and raise you the underrated Ellis Burks. Okay, let's see Ellis Burks. Ellis Burks. These guys may show up on our pack today for Name That Player. Holy shit, Ellis Burks. Ellis Burks. All right, we got to give it to Bob Hosta. Ellis Burks may reign supreme as the most underrated player of the 1990s with a whopping 49.8 career WAR. 1996 led the league in runs with 142. Burks with 50 WAR only made 2 All-Star games, and that's another reason why the All-Star game voting is whack. Finished 13th in MVP voting in 1990. Also won a Gold Glove and a Silver Slugger award that season. 1996 was third in MVP voting, also a Silver Slugger. Finished 15th in MVP voting without even an All-Star appearance in the year 2000. That 1996 season, he had a 7.9 WAR that year, 344 batting average, a 639 slug that led the league, a 1.047 OPS. Let's see, 32 stolen bases, 40 home runs, 45 doubles. Ellis freaking Burks, 1996. That Colorado air helping Ellis Burks out in the 90s. Burks was solid. Reggie Sanders. All right, let's see. So far, Ellis Burks is our most underrated of the 90s. Reggie Sanders. We want this Reggie Sanders. 39.8 WAR. So he's going to fall a little short of Ellis Burks, at least on the WAR counter. One All-Star game appearance. That was 1995. He finished 6th in MVP voting that year. He finished 4th in the Rookie of the Year voting in 1992. 1994, that the strike shortened season, he had a 3.3 WAR in 107 games. He did lead the league in strikeouts. Hit 17 home runs, 62 RBI, 20 doubles. Let's look at his home run counter. 28 in 95. He had 33 in 2001, 31 home runs in 2003. Reggie Sanders. So I think we'll slot Reggie Sanders behind Ellis Burks, but ahead of Greg Vaughn and Kevin Seitzer. Let's see. Where are we at? Basket Noodle says a full 32% of my traffic comes external off eBay. No, I don't sell cards. And I don't pay a dime for that. 32% of my traffic external. Interesting. I do pay a dime for mine. I don't know what my traffic. Can I look at that? We want to keep Baseball Reference up because I think I see a Brady Anderson reference. Where are we at? Where did I want to go? eBay. I'm looking. I got an email. Somebody wants to set up in the summer for the Madison Card Show. And all right, we want traffic data. But I guarantee you my traffic's not up to, I'm going to put this back up so I know where to leave off. I know it's not 32% traffic, and I even pay for it. Let's see. So we're on last 30 days. Where do you look for offsite? That's promoted offsite. I don't know. I can't find it. Basket Noodle says, understanding how things work helps make things work the way you want. Max says, All-Star Game is popularity contest and never counts for second half. That's true. The more I think about it, the weirder it becomes. It is. Like, you look at some of these guys that were in top 10 MVP, weren't even in the All-Star Game that year. Nick says, what's up, Examine Baseball? Says, Burks really didn't all-star perform except for his 2 all-star seasons in 2000. There were many other outfielders better in the National League. Michael Renicky is going to raise us a Kevin Brown. Oh, now we're throwing pitchers into the mix. I always leave out pitchers because it's hard to compare. Let's see. We want this Kevin Brown. There's 3 Kevin Browns. 67.8 WAR. So if we're going by WAR, Kevin Brown takes the cake. Wow. Kevin Brown, Rookie of the Year, 6th place in 89. He finished 6th in Cy Young in 92, 2nd in Cy Young in 96, 3rd in the Cy Young voting in 98, 6th again in 99, 6th again in 2000. He finished 16th in MVP voting and 22nd in his career. So if we're combining them all, Kevin Brown's got Hall of Fame numbers. All right. Kevin Brown. Brady Anderson was one. He's easy to compare when it comes to hitters. And a bulk of his career was in the 1990s. Brady Anderson, only a 35 career WAR. That's less than I expected. Let's see. Finished 14th in MVP voting in 92, 9th in 96. I think basically Brady Anderson had 1 year. 98, 96. He had 50 home runs in 96. He had 18 so Brady Anderson, 50 home runs, 1996. After that, his highest home run total was 24, less than half of the output. And that came in 99, which he was probably doing something with his body that was not allowed, or wasn't allowed. And it was later not allowed. Basket Noodle says, this is why eBay is investing in AI-based descriptions, albeit they suck now. Yeah, the AI descriptions are kind of shitty. Sandy Alomar Jr. Now here's a guy that I'd say I'm just going to predict Sandy Alomar Jr. I'm going to predict a career WAR for Sandy Alomar Jr. of 24. 24 WAR for Sandy Alomar Jr. All right, let's type it in. Sandy Alomar Jr. What did I say? 23 WAR. Oh, I was way off. Only a 13.7 WAR for Sandy Alomar. Wow. Look at that. 13 career WAR in 20 seasons. That's bad. Yet, this may be the biggest anomaly in Major League Baseball in the 1990s. Sandy Alomar Jr. in 20 Major League Baseball seasons, only accumulated 13.7 WAR, but he made 6 All-Star games, which is just proof in the pudding that All-Star game appearances are poop. Sandy Alomar Jr. Wow, that is absolutely crazy. Is there a weirder career than that? 13.7 WAR in 20 years with 6 All-Star game appearances, including a 14th in MVP voting in 1997. That's a wild career. Juan Gonzalez. Now, being a junk wax era kid, he is properly rated for me. I know he put up some big numbers. I'm going to say Juan Gonzalez probably has a similar WAR to Greg Vaughn. Who was the 50 career WAR guy that not Reggie Sanders, not Greg Vaughn, Ellis Burks. I think Juan Gonzalez probably falls between Greg Vaughn and Ellis Burks. I'm going to say Juan Gonzalez, and he played long. So I'm going to say he's probably closer to that 50 WAR. I'm going to say Juan Gonzalez, 43 career WAR. Juan Gonzalez, 43 career WAR. Let's check it out. Juan Gonzalez, 1989 to 2005, 38.7 career WAR. He's played 17 years, only 3 All-Star appearances, 2-time MVP, 1996 and 1998. Led the league in home runs back-to-back years in 92, 93. He hit 40 or more home runs in 5 different seasons, 92, 93, 96, 97, 98. And then he hit 35 home runs in 2001. Rich Klein says tomorrow is not only the Madison Card Show, but Topps Rip Night. It is. And a couple of our local card shops are participating. Our friends at Bonsai in DeForest, they do a trade night after each Madison Card Show. So check out Bonsai. And then a little further up in Waupun, my buddy Tom at Real Cards from Real Breaks, they will be also hosting a Topps Rip Night Saturday night after the Madison Card Show. So Bonsai and Real Breaks, Real Cards will both be set up tomorrow during the day at the Madison Card Show. And they'll be putting in double duty as they'll head back after the show and host Topps Rip Night at their respective locations. Real Cards in Waupun and Bonsai in DeForest. Bradley says, wasn't Brady Anderson linked to steroids? I think most of the guys that we're talking about probably were linked to steroids. Kevin Mitchell. I'm still waiting on my Kevin Mitchell TTM return that I sent in 1991. So 1987 Topps. Never got it back. Kevin Mitchell, 29 career WAR. How many years did he play? I thought his career was a little shorter. 13, yeah. So he did not have that long of a career. 13 years. MVP in 1989. 1990, he was 11th in MVP voting. Kevin Mitchell was one of those guys where he had great seasons, but very few of them, like 2. 98 or 89 and 90. And he had a good year in 91. 91, he hit 256. Had an 853 OPS, 27 home runs, 69 RBI. 90, he had 35 home runs, 93 RBI, hit 290, had a 904 OPS, 89. That was his MVP season. He had 34 doubles, 47 home runs, 125 RBI. The latter 2 stats led the league. He had a 635 slug and a 1.023 OPS, both led the league as well. Kevin Mitchell. Bob Hosta 7. Bob Hosta says Kevin Brown super underrated. Yeah, looking at those numbers, Kevin Brown definitely underrated. Max says, how does the 90s hit leader stack up against these guys? Not great, probably. Let's see what Mark Grace did in the 90s. And I should know this, but I'm going to say Mark Grace probably like a 27 career WAR. Oh, I was way off. Mark Grace, 46 career WAR. Wow. I should know. I'm ashamed that I undervalued Mark Grace so much. See, maybe Mark Grace is underrated. Even I, graded him so short. Mark Grace, 3-time All-Star, multiple Gold Gloves, 4 of them. Finished in the top 20 in MVP voting 4 times. Of course, he led the league in hits in the decade. Mark Grace. Juan Gonzalez. Max says, everybody we've mentioned has been linked to roids probably. Yeah, I think so. Kevin Brown towing that line of being properly rated. He is. He's pretty damn close to Hall. I mean, he probably does have Hall of Fame. Like, if you look at the comparisons, he probably is like right there on that, like where there's Hall of Famers above him and below him. Peter says, can't treat pitchers and position players the same as they earn WAR differently. Yeah, that's why I don't like to compare pitchers. And it feels like I hate on pitchers because I just like comparing hitters. Max says, dude was top 5 arms for quite a few years. Kevin Brown was in the 87 Donruss set. No rated rookie. Nick met Brady in 97 spring training. His arms were huge. George, welcome back. George is back. Roids are overrated. Bob Hosta says, going back to the 80s, Lou Whitaker was an absolute war machine with very little Hall of Fame love. He's kind of like, he gets Hall of Fame love now, I think. It seems like he's a popular, candidate for like the Veterans Committee, which is he up next year, this coming cycle? I can't remember what committee is up. Max says the catcher position, though. Dave says it's almost second period and no name that player yet. I'm sweating here. You better get your second period ready. Let's see. George says I have a 13 WAR and have never played an MLB game. I suppose WAR takes care of that, though. Travis says Sandy versus Benito Santiago. Surprisingly, Wangon has like a 38 WAR. That is insanely low, probably overrated then. Alomar Jr. was a catcher. He may have made those all-star games due to injuries. There you go. Michael Renicky says, my childhood memory had him on a pedestal. Juan gone. Max says, yeah, I thought Juan would have had a much higher WAR. Basket Noodle says, see, Google, MSN, varied search engines outside eBay will place more weighting on the content than indexing solely on the title data. Rock Latex is here. Alfredo Griffin had a WAR of negative 1.5 in 1984 and made the All-Star game that season. I love it. Max says, John, switch accounts again. Okay, so he's way more underrated than any of the folks we've talked about so far. Rich Klein says, story goes, Kevin Brown was a terrible person, which may be affecting his Hall of Fame non-chance. Oh, and I'm not Did not know that. Let's play Name That Player because Dave Arnold's got a class to teach. We are going back, and we're probably going to pull Kevin Brown. We're probably going to pull Ellis Burks. Well, maybe. Mark Grace could be in here. Greg Vaughn. We're going back to 1991 Score because that's everybody's favorite brand, especially John Keating. We got Name That Player leaderboard. Michael Renicky in the lead, but Max made a run last week. He's at 27. We got Uncle Rich Klein in third place. Let me get my YouTube up. 1991 Score. Here we are. Free for all Friday. Max is going back to bed. All right. I'm going to hit that like button. There we go. All right. Here we go. 91 Score. Let's get this out. Loved Score. We talked about this, I think, this yesterday. 91, probably my third favorite. 90 is my favorite. Second favorite, probably 89. I'll go 91 next. All right. Oh, damn. They got the names at the top. Well, it's not Kevin Brown, but it is a pitcher. It is a pitcher. The Atlanta Braves. Charlie Liebrandt is correct. Peter was first. Charlie Liebrandt. Scotty Dubs right behind. Scotty finished second. SoCal guy was third. Dave Arnold fourth. All right. So Peter with the point. Where's Peter at? Peter with 8. So you just leapfrogged Card Hobbyist and Minneapolis Kid. And you are just behind Dave, Scotty Dubs, that dude from Duryea, and Matt Like. All right, Peter with 8. All right, next up. Oh, we got to take this down. Next up. All right. Oh, here we go. Dave Arnold's going to know this one. That's probably an easy one. Who is it? Who is it? Not Charlie Huff. Rick Russell, Scotty Dubs. Big Daddy. Scotty was first, Shane second, Rich third. Where's Dave Arnold? Are you teaching class? Oh, there he is. Rick Russell. We will not take off for spelling. Scotty Dubs. Into double figures. He's with 10 points. Just behind Uncle Rich. I think that puts Scotty into 4th place. Scotty Dubs was our very first champion of Name That Player. All right, next up. Yes, there were 2. Rick Russell and Paul Russell. Paul was long retired by 91, so we're not going to require first name on that one. Plus, Paul only played like 4 years. Hey, speaking of Cubs. Who's this catcher? Damon Berryhill. Damon Berryhill. Scotty Dubs was first. SoCal guy was second. Damon Berryhill. Got to keep him. We're not throwing him away. Scotty Dubs moving on up. And he is now tied with Uncle Rich. 11 points. All right. This next player had a son who played. Oh, wow. We got a hit. Who is this guy? Had a son who played Major League Baseball. It's not McRae or Tatis. It's not Wilson or Leiter. It's Bedrosian. Steve Bedrosian. Okay, I'm going to let the chat decide. SoCal guy said Bedrock, and then later corrected to Bedrosian. So I'm going to let you, should we give it to SoCal guy or should we give it to Shane? Shane was first with correctly saying Bedrosian. Uncle Rich says Bedrock is fine. So we're going to give it to Bedrock. All good, says Michael Renicky. SoCal guy with the point. He did correct himself. I'm sure that was a typo. Okay. SoCal guy with 5 points. All right. Oh, I didn't know Bedrock was his nickname. Well, all right. Here's an easy one. Last name is fine. We're not going to get into semantics on this one. Whoever's got the fastest internet is going to get this one. Michael Renicky. I won't even take off for spelling. Michael Renicky. Griffey is correct. We'll keep that one. All right. Michael Renicky. First point today. He's at 31. All right. Next up. See, this is why I like to score, because it's like you get a run of hits. I mean, even this card, like today, it's like, oh, this is a common. But back in 1991, Wally Joyner is correct. Peter was first. Peter was first. Wally Joyner. All right, Peter with another point. He's at 9, now tied with Matt, Dave, and Duryea. All right. Next up. Now, I do know this guy's nickname, so I'll take a nickname on this one. I will take one nickname that I know. Nails. That's the nickname I was looking for. We'll take Nails. Lenny Dykstra. All right. Who got it first? John Maybe. First point today. All right. John Maybe is up to 4 points. And he moves up ahead of Shane. All right. John Maybe. All right. Next up. Ooh, another easy one. Another easy one. Max wants to know how far on nails. Let's see. John was first, second, third. You were fourth. John Maybe was first. Dave was second on nails. Shane nails. Max with Lenny. George Brett is correct. Peter. Peter again. Peter, you've got a faster internet than Michael Renicky today. Peter with another point. Peter beat out, let's see. Michael Renicky was second. John Maybe third. Dave was fourth. Let's go. Who? Peter. Peter with 10 moves up ahead. And is behind Scotty Dubs. All right, next up. Ooh, this will be a tough one unless you know your 91 score. All right, here we go. Got to know your score. Know your score. Yeah, this was a good pack. Ken Griffey Jr., George Brett, Lenny Dykstra. Waldron is, well, it's Walden. I'll give you Waldron. We'll give Dave Arnold. If anybody disagrees, because I don't think there's a Waldron in Major League Baseball, we'll give Waldron. If anybody disagrees, I can take the point back. We'll give it to Dave Arnold. It was Ron Walden. Ron Walden. Dave Arnold with the point, and he moves to 10 points. All right. All right. Next up, how many cards do we have? 2, 3, 4. Geez, this is a big pack. Like 7 packs or 7 cards to go. All right. Another rookie. Cincinnati Reds. Our first round draft pick card. Wilson is correct. Dan Wilson. Dan Wilson. Dan Wilson. Rich Klein. I think. Let me check. Waldron, Key, Walden, Van Poppel, Wilson. Rich Klein. Okay. Uncle Rich moves up to 12 points. All right. Next up. Oh, we got 2. All right. 2 points possible on this one. California Angels no-hit club. Yes, Mike Witt is one of them. And Mark Langston is the other. Okay, so we got John Mabey was the first with Witt. Where are we at? John Mabey got Witt first. Mark Langston, Mike Witt. All right, so John Mabey with the point there. John Mabey is at 5. Okay, and who got Langston? Dave Arnold with Langston. Dave Arnold with 11. Dave, moving on up. And you are tied with Scotty Dubs at 11. Dave. Okay, next up. Oh, another gimme. Another gimme. No-hit club. Another no-hit club. Nolan Ryan. I'll take Nolan or I'll take Ryan. Who was first? Michael Renicky. Michael Renicky. I thought, am I seeing things? Look at his arm. Is that on every card? I'm like, God, what's going on with my eyes? Nope, it's the card. All right, we'll keep Nolan Ryan. Who got that first? Michael Renicky. Michael Renicky. And he's up to 32 points. Michael has not really separated himself from the pack, but still a 5-point lead. All right, we still have 4 more. I agree. These packs, this is why I loved Score. Like, I got a Ken Griffey Jr., a Nolan Ryan, a George Brett. Like, 10-year-old me was loving this pack of cards. I mean, that Ken Griffey Jr. probably Beckett price was like $1.50. Paid 50 cents for the pack. This guy, I think he may still be working in the Cubs organization in the front office. I don't know. I know he was a few years ago at least. Let's see. No correct answers yet. Cubs front office. Played for the Minnesota Twins. It's not Seitzer, Doherty, O'Brien, Hulse. It's not Varsho. It's not DeCenzo. It's not Ernie. He's barking. It's not Gagne, or is it Gagne? It's Gagne in wrestling. I think it's Gagne in baseball. It's not Mark Lemke. I thought Dave Arnold would get this with my... somebody did get it. Somebody did get it. Bush. Randy Bush. Max with the point. Randy Bush. I thought Dave Arnold would get this one. Randy Bush. I don't know if he's still in the front office. I know he was a few years ago because he signed a ball for me at spring training. Max with 28. All right, a couple more left. All right, next up, Boston Red Sox pitcher. I think we've got commons. Yeah, we got commons the rest of the way. Our run of hits is over from 91 score. It is not Scott Cooper. Wiki says Randy Bush still with the Cubs. It is not Bruce Hurst. It is not Dobson or Brown. But his last name is a color. Max got it. It's Gray. Jeff Gray. I think he typed it before I even gave that clue away. Jeff Gray. Ooh, Dave with William Van Landingham. He's just been dying to type that name out. All right, Max closing the gap. It's 32-29 at the top. Rich says he has Michael Renicky before Max. Let's see. Peter says, who cares? Dobson. Michael Renicky. Max, we're taking the point away. Michael Renicky was first, actually, in quite a bit. Quite a bit. All right, so Max is back to 28. And Michael Renicky, ooh, look at that. Went from 32-29 to 33-28. You guys can fight that one out tomorrow at the Madison Card Show. All right, yes. Michael Renicky, John Maybe says he had it. Michael Renicky with the point. All right, next up. He previously played for the Cubs. It is not Snyder. It is not Manto. Mitch Webster. Michael Renicky. Michael Renicky. All right, we're down to one more card. It's an Atlanta Brave. 34 points for Renicky. All right, next up, Atlanta Braves. It's not Kenny Lofton. It's not Candy Maldonado. It's not Pat Tabler. It's not Adebayo McDowell. Atlanta Braves 1991 score. Start your Braves guesses now. Here you go. It's not Jones. It's not Ron Gant. It's not Otis Nixon. It's not Mark Lemke. It's not Kramers or Avery or Gant or Olson or Lemke. None of those guys. Not Aldrete. Not Jeff Treadway. Not O'Brien. Never trust a man with two first names. Tommy Gregg. Before I say it was Max, let me go. I don't want to take more points away from him. All right. Tabler, McDowell, Jones, Gant, Nixon, Kramers, Lemke, Avery, Gant, Lemke, Olson, Treadway, Aldrete, Olson, O'Brien, Gregg. Max with the point. Last point of the day. So here we go. After another round, we got Michael Renicky at the top, 34 points. Max in second with 29. Uncle Rich in third place with 12. We've got a jam up in fourth place. Scotty Dubs and Dave Arnold. Peter has 10. Matt Like has 9, along with that dude from Duryea. We've got Card Hobbyist and the Minneapolis Kid with 7 points apiece. And then the rest of your scoreboard, SoCal Guy and John Mabey with 5 points. Shane has 3. Scott Hermanson with 2. L1C has 2. Philly Joe has a point. Unicorn Cupcake, Christian Anderson. Spam Likely has a point. Jason VT Sports Guy. Flawed Thinker, round it out. All right. Time to make the coffee and go see that little rascal upstairs. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. See my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Buy 7 or more cards at regular price. You'll save 25% off at checkout, 99centcards.com. Tomorrow is the Madison Card Show. Come out, see me. Come out, see Bronco. Come out, see Max. Come out, see Michael Renicky. Am I missing any other dealers in the chat? I don't think so. So come out and see us, Madison Card Show tomorrow, Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Free admission, 140 dealer tables tomorrow. John Nolan Drive, Sheraton Hotel, Madison Card Show. We'll see you tomorrow at the show. If not, we'll be back here on Sunday morning for Hobby Evolution. See you then.